iBooktube. So it's been a while since I've done a Friday Reads, and I haven't done a wrap up for the last part of June yet. So I thought I would like mesh those two together. Sorry if you hear any noise in the background. I have the fans going and Fable's like panting in the background. We just went for a walk. Even this really short walk, it's hot outside, and yeah, she does not do well in the heat, and I don't either. So yeah, I'm not gonna turn these fans off because I can't manage to do without it. I'm one of those people who I can't wait for the fall. Like for the cooler weather, even though we're just basically the last like week or so getting into summer here in Portland. Yeah, I want the cooler weather back. So as for June, the last 2 weeks of June, I didn't have the best reading 2 weeks. I only have 2 books to show, and the rest were just, they weren't horrible books. They were just meh. I have nothing really to say about them. So let's talk about them 2 books. And they're both have the same kind of cover because they're both by Bison Books. A Bison book, is that what it says? Yes. And so the first one here is A Bride Goes West by Nanny T. Alderson and Helena Huntington Smith. Nanny is the one who told the story to Helena, and Helena like transcribed it. And Nanny, she was born in, I think it's like 18 something. Let's see here, 1860 in West Virginia. And so she grows up with this very like cultured life where her mom is very prim and proper and has the right clothing, the right gloves, the right silverware, that whole deal. And so Nanny goes to visit her aunt in Kansas and really falls in love with the Western lifestyle. And she makes a point to say that she likes how it's relaxed and it's about who you are now, not where you're from, not who is your family and your family background. It's more relaxed culture. And so she meets a man there, and her and him, they move all the way up near Miles City, Montana. I think it's like a day or so drive to Miles City, which was a really small town back then. And him and his business partner set up a ranch there. And so, but as they go on through their marriage, each of the houses that they move to get smaller and smaller. And like they start with a good amount of money, but then the partnership dissolves with him, the cattle rancher, and so that all that money they put into it just goes away. And for different circumstances, due to fires or different natural disasters, they they end up in a really small, like making really scrounging to make do, which is interesting to contrast with how she grew up. But she still loves the West. She loves being near nature and having her children just be able to like run around in these fields, even though there's bears and all sorts of things to get into there. It was just a nice read. And then the other book I have to talk about is No Life for a Lady by Agnes Morley Cleveland, and she was a very strong character. Let's see, when was she born? I remember it has the year here somewhere. Oh yeah, she was born in New Mexico cattle ranch. Yeah, 1874. So a little bit after When a Bride Goes West, relatively around the same time. So she, her father was a very intelligent man, and of his time for sure. He was working predominantly with the railroads as an engineer, and so he had a lot of money. And they weren't always in the middle of nowhere in New Mexico. But when he died, her father dies, and her mother marries a man who was really no good. He's there maybe like 6 months. Puts all of her money into a cattle ranch and just leaves them high and dry. See you later, like never. So the mother has to really scrounge and make do with what she has. She has no experience on a cattle ranch, and the children, Agnes and her brother, are just living it up with the horses and the cattle and working with the cowboys and learning, just being outside all the time. Like they just love it. And so it's interesting, like these 2 books, this one is the perspective of the mother of children, and this one is the child herself, growing up. So for sure, like this book, Nanny was constantly talking about the stress involved and just the weight of the responsibility and, seeing this whole, world in a different light. Whereas this one is all like fun and games for the most part. It's like she meets outlaws that are like passing through because the cattle ranch is like abutting a mountain range. And so outlaws would come down like as they're going through, and so like they would like provide meals and water and rest for these people. Like also cowboys, Indians, outlaws, that whole like Western atmosphere. It's all in here. So yeah. Anyway, these two were really nice reads, and I'll have to see if Bison Books what else they have on their catalog. So yeah. Then for now, I'm gonna move on to my Friday reads, and I meant to show you. Oh, I have it right behind me. Okay. So the first thing I want to share with you is a book I haven't started yet, but I mentioned it during my Jane Austen TBR, and this is Jane Austen, Pride and Prejudice, an annotated edition by Patricia Meyer Spacks, and this is a gigantic book. It's really pretty. I haven't really cracked it open yet, but there's lots of colored pictures and annotations on the side. So, yeah, I am really looking forward to this. It's really heavy, but it's kind of like a tabletop book. Not really, but that size kind of thing. And see, who is this? This is Harris Big Wither, the son of a family friend, proposed marriage to Jane Austen in 1802. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to learn all sorts of stuff about Jane Austen and Pride and Prejudice. There's another annotated edition of Pride and Prejudice I'm looking forward to getting maybe next year. It's smaller and more manageable, but I thought I would start with this one. And I'm going to also be reading Jane Austen, A Life by Clara Tomalland. That white cover again, where I can never get it to show. This is a book, I'm not sure, I can't remember, because I watched so many people's Jane Austen TBR videos. I can't exactly remember if this is like the host, if it's like an official group read or not, but I've seen quite a few people talk about this book, so I wanted to read it. And this, biography of her, we'll see what I think of it, and we'll see like how much is in the Pride and Prejudice annotated edition compared to the biography, and what all I can pick up on. And then the other book, this is what I'm currently reading, is Theodore Rex by Edmund Morris, and I just realized that I'm talking about two biographies, Jane Austen and Theodore Roosevelt. This is book 2 in his trilogy, and I read the first book I think last year, and so this book focuses on his presidency, and as his body is right now I'm in the part where he's like not deteriorating exactly, but getting older. He's really pushed his body to the limits on as he's going through life, and so right now he's focusing on his eyesight and not being as mobile. But anyway, this is focusing outside of the sicknesses on his presidency, which is very interesting. It's all like into the politics of the day, and right now it's talking about his time in working with Russia and Japan and their two battles, between the two, trying to prevent wars and things. And so yeah, anyway, greatly enjoying this as well. So that's mostly what I'm going to be reading during this weekend. I don't really have any plans. It's going to be hot, and so yeah, I'm just going to stay in, try to stay cool, and I have a lot of reading to do. So yeah, let me know if you've read either of these two books, or what are your plans for this weekend, or how are you enjoying the summer. Let me know if any of you are like me, who wants somebody to go bye-bye and just like have the fall rains come, and yeah. Anyway, I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, BookTube.